This is Ron Leary, illustrator for Upper Deck Marvel Cards, and you are listening to the Marvel Card Collectors Podcast.
Hello, everybody. My name is Ian Taylor, and you are listening to the Marvel Card Collectors Podcast, your weekly digest of hobby goodness, brought to you by the Marvel Cards Fan Collective, an awesome community of card collectors and creators. You can find our two groups on Facebook, details of which are at the end of this podcast, so come check us out. With me, as always, is my co-pilot in all things Marvel cards. For those about to rock, knowing rad. I could quite get into that song and play it for a lot longer, but I think we should probably.
Stars Metal. I've never heard of that song.
I just typed. What did I type in? I typed in metal music.
That's the best,
cool. And that's the top result for a video. It's a song called Metal by Death Stars, and it's had almost 12 million views since November the 4th, 2011.
That's a lot of views.
That's a lot of views. That is a lot of views. And they're going for it as well.
I love it. Hey, man, fully commit.
Well, you've got to do it. You've got to do it. There'll be more metal later on in the show, folks.
To do it.
You've got to do it. Welcome, buddy. Welcome.
Hey, bud. How's it going?
It's officially the fall, as you say it, over there.
It is the fall.
It is now
in
September.
Miami, it'd still be summer. But yes, in North Carolina, it is now. We're starting to see some colder weather over here.
Oh, we're not here. I'm sweating my bips off over here.
It's been hot over there for what I've been hearing.
It's hot. And it's been gnarly, and it's just muggy today as well. Anyway, enough about the weather in England, folks. How are you?
How are you, buddy? How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm asking our listeners. Actually, I've already asked you. How are you, listeners?
Oh. I don't think you're going to get an answer, but I'm with you.
Oh no, they're answering.
Maybe they can phone message in.
Yeah. Listeners, set up the dial 1-800 the MCC podcast.
Tell us how you feel.
Like one of those agony art columns.
You don't get Ian, you'll get Norin.
Yeah. And if you do, good luck. Good luck to you.
We have a big case of people jumping over bridges today. We don't know why. The pandemic.
Jumping over or off?
Either way. Whatever's going to get the coolest effect. Well, if you're going to go, you got to go well.
Whatever works.
You can't just
whatever works. You got to go with style. Yeah.
You got to go with style.
You got to go with style and leave a big hole. So where do I start? I've got lots of stuff to talk about this week.
There's a lot of stuff to talk about.
Well, I want to talk about, because this is the first episode we've recorded since my return from America. Half of our listeners have stood up and put their hands over their chests like they do at the beginning of sports.
We have very patriotic listeners. We've always known that.
Yeah. Well, crazy. I saw it when I went to an NFL game, like a preseason. My first ever one on American soil. And I did find it fascinating watching how people respond. And there's nothing unusual in how they responded. It's just a very American way that people respond when the national anthem's played and when they do that salute to service halfway through the game. It was fascinating watching it. From an outsider's point of view. Because it's very strange. We kind of have that in the UK, but we don't. Yeah, I don't know. It was great. I loved it. I had a really good vacation. Thank you for asking.
Very straight. That's awesome. I'm glad you had a great vacation. I've been talking to you about your vacation for quite some time now.
You have been talking to me about my vacation for quite some time. So the main thing that I did that's kind of interest to our listeners, aside from putting on £7,
you went to America. You're lucky it's not more.
Yeah, tell me about it. Was going to Boston Fan Expo, which is kind of almost a month away now from when I actually went. And let me tell you, it was incredible. I loved it.
I'm sure.
I was only there for the day. And honestly, when I got there, it was kind of like, well, let me back up a sec. I had brunch beforehand with my two wingmen for the day, Matt Fuller and Pankit Shah. You can find both of them on Instagram. Matt is ODC Sketch Cards, I believe. OCD rather, not ODC. And Matt Fuller is Catfaults 41, I believe. Does that sound right? I've probably muffed it. Anyway, you'll find them on there. They're both fine gentlemen, fine collectors, and it was just really nice to meet other collectors in the flesh. It was really cool. So we had a nice brunch, and then we wandered down to the convention centre, and it's a good job we did because the queues had kind of gone, so we could just kind of swanny in.
That's smart.
And it was absolutely rammed. I mean, it was busy. It was the kind of thing that you'd look at and you go, coronavirus likes this. But
Yep.
So I stayed masked for most of it. When it got to kind of towards the end of the day, I was like, you know what, I'm over it. I need to take it off for a bit. But it was fine, didn't catch anything, and people were being very respectful, and and all that sort of stuff. And there was a lot of hand washing and sanitizer everywhere, so that's good. But yeah, no, it's great. Had a good old mooch around. Let me give you the highlights. So there are two artists that I met who we know, who we've got intros for. So at the top of this show, you will have heard one of them. I'm probably going to do Ron Leary, even though I met both Ron Leary and George Vega. Simple reason being is we used George, and George came on an episode not too long ago. But George, we'll use you in a few weeks' time. Don't you worry about that. So I'm going to use Ron, because Ron was way back on episode 7, his intro. And I don't think we've used him since.
That's a shame. That's so funny.
So let's give Ron. So Ron Leary, I think he goes by Ron Leary Jr. actually. Lovely, lovely guy. I met him kind of towards the end of the day. It took a while to find him. When we did find his table, he'd gone off for a break. Turns out, as I found out when we came back, that he'd gone to have a photo op with Ewan McGregor.
What?
Him and his daughter, yeah. So he's got this fresh photo there of them both with Ewan McGregor, and they both look like really, really pleased to have done it.
That's so cool.
But yeah, no, Ron was really sweet, and we had a good old chat. And I promised Ron we'd have him on soon, because I'd love to talk to Ron a bit more and get to know him a bit. He's a fiercely talented man.
He's awesome.
Yeah. So I got a print from him, which was good. A black cat print. I'll put a picture of it on the tasting notes. But earlier in the day, I met and then circled back to a couple of times George Vega, who had a really good end spot.
Vega.
And George was just lovely. Bear hugs all around to everyone. Really sweet guy, really enthusiastic, lovely to talk to. He had lots of really good stuff there to show. Some good PSCs, some blank official sketch card stock, mainly Marvel, but a few others. What else? He had loads of prints, loads of comic book covers, loads of good stuff.
I got my original Vega right here.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah, he did a great job.
You know what? I don't think you've shown me that. I know I've shown you I don't think I've seen that.
Really?
Brilliant.
Isn't it great?
That's Marvel Premiere 2017?
Yeah, I don't have the Surfer on that stock because he was banned.
Nice. That's beautiful.
Yeah,
that's a lovely card. That
beautiful card. He did a great job.
Yeah.
He did a wonderful job. He's a great Surfer artist. I mean, he's a great artist, period, but Surfer's so good.
I haven't got it with me at the moment, but I got 2 cards. I got him to do 2 cards for me.
I'm like in the mode of or categorizing everything, so everything just happens to be next to me.
Yeah,
really next to me.
Yeah, no, mine's in the other room, but I'll put them on the tasting notes. And in fact, I can definitely show you pictures of them. So let me find that while we're talking. So I got him to do me a black cat on Spider-Verse stock.
Damn!
On AP, which was absolutely fantastic. So he did me basically a black and white sketch, which, you know what, there aren't enough of those around. I mean, they really aren't.
They are. They're just not. They're locked up.
Oh yeah, but no, on you, because people don't do them anymore. That's the thing. And I really wish they did.
They're not allowed to, right? They have to have colors. Isn't that part of the agreement?
Yeah, exactly. But I'm kind of like, you know what? I'd really like it if they could just do them again.
Yeah, I would too. I would like a case incentive like they did in Fantastic Four 2008.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, no, not a case incentive. It was like black and white. And
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. So I did that, and I got him to do a PSC for my daughter.
Wow.
And he did a Spider-Gwen for her because she's really getting into her female characters. I mean, she's loving them. She really is.
Spider-Gwen's a great character.
Yeah, and he did an absolutely banging job. So I'll put photos of all these on the tasting notes because for the life of me, I can't find them now, even though I've posted them onto the group. Here we go. Right, let me just quickly share my screen with you, Noah, so at least you can see it live and people can ooh and ah over the reactions. So where are we? So can you see here? There's George. So
George. I love that photo of you guys.
Yeah, so that's Pankit, myself, George, and Matt. See, I'm rocking my podcast T-shirt there.
You guys look great.
And that's George, and that's my black cat one. Just about.
Oh wow! Yeah, look at that.
It's really nice. It's got beautiful cross hatching. I'll put a close up.
Dude, sketches with negative space around them.
I know, I love it.
They're just not done enough. They look so good.
And then he did that little PSC of Spider-Gwen for my girl. She loved it. And look, he's rocking the podcast badges I gave him. So yeah, it was absolutely wonderful. And who else did I meet? I met someone that we're interviewing next week, so I'm not going to spoil that. And that person was lovely. So I'm really, really looking forward to interviewing that person. Who else did I meet? There's Ron. That's Ron and the scan I got from him. So that'll be on the tasting notes. Ron's a sturdy lad. Look at him. He looks after himself. He hits the gym. Yeah. He's a big boy, in a good way. So there's Ron and that wonderful Prince. That's a J. Scott Campbell homage that he did. Wow. He had the original painting of that there as well.
Did he?
Yeah, really nice. He had lots of original stuff there. I met Joe Rubinstein.
Nice, Joe Rubinstein. How cool is that?
Yeah, my goodness, he's got a dry sense of humor. Lovely guy, but dry sense of humor.
Really?
He was just sitting there doing his thing. I got a black cat pen and ink, in fact, which I've got here, so I can actually show you that on my crappy ass webcam. Again, there's pictures of these will be on the tasting notes. Look at that.
That's so cool.
Isn't that nice? So that's kind of a comic book's backing board size.
It looks good. It looks really good.
Yeah. So what he did, he had a box that you could go through where these were in, and they were penciled.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you had two prices on there. One if you wanted to buy the pencils as they were, and one if you wanted to ink them.
Oh, nice.
So I just pulled it out. It was literally, I'd gone through the whole box and I hadn't found any black cat. It was literally the second to last one I found.
Wow.
I was like, it's Joe Rubinstein. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm here. I'm probably never going to meet him again. So, I gave him the dollars and went off and did the rest of the con, and he inked that. Isn't it?
That looks awesome.
It's really nice. It's a lovely piece.
Really, really nice.
Not every day you get someone like that to do stuff.
No way. He's on so many legendary books.
Yeah, he's on that original 4-issue Wolverine series.
Yeah, he worked on Surfer too.
Yeah.
I actually got a sketch card from him.
Yeah,
just recently.
Yes,
and not from him, but one that he did.
He was on. Was it Masterpieces? 2007. He did sketch cards for. Or was it written?
Yeah, I think he did quite a few. The one I have, I think, is Marvel's 70th anniversary.
Oh, okay, cool.
70 years of Marvel, I think, is the one I have.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I don't have any sketch cards by him, so I'd love a Black Cat sketch card by him.
I think he did a few. I don't think that's going to be like terribly. You know what I mean? I don't think those are like hidden or anything. No. Maybe 07 or 08, but I think he did quite a few.
What I'd love to do is get some MCCW sketch card stock. Jalen, if you're listening, into the hands of people like Joe. I don't think Ron Leary's got any. I don't know if George Rager's got any. I don't think he has. But those guys, they do the con circuit a lot. So that's exactly the kind of
that'd be really cool.
That'd be really cool. Who else did I meet? Let me scroll through these. There's George again. I didn't put the photo up there. But I met Jonathan Frakes from Star Trek Next Generation. And I was seventh heaven, mate. It was so cool to meet him. So cool to meet him.
Awesome.
And, got my photo up. So I'll put that on the tasting notes as well. I didn't post it in group because it's not Star Trek, technically speaking.
So freaking cool.
And I met other people as well. I met J.K. Woodward, who did loads of Next Generation covers, did Fallen Angel for DC. Oh, wow. Really nice guy. Don't think he's done much Marvel, if any, to be fair. But yeah, really sweet guy. Briefly met Frank Cho, who I got a print
that's cool
from.
I like Frank Cho.
Yeah, he seemed a bit, the hotter end of the artist spectrum. I think they've probably got less bandwidth to have a chat with you because they're just like, people are just like piling onto their tables.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt. No, I mean, it's very weird when you meet some of these artists. I forgot who I met in Heroes Con.
Yeah,
that I was really put off by them, and probably best that I don't remember. But because I don't want to say it on air. But yeah, I was kind of like,
he was nice enough, and it was very understandable why he was a little bit off with me.
Oh yeah,
because I was saying I really liked a piece of his work, and it turns out it was a Terry Dodson book.
Oh fuck! Well, that would do it.
So that'll do it.
That would do it.
And then Steve McNiven was next to him, so Pankit queued up to speak to him, and they were all masked up. So there's Steve McNiven and a guy next to him. So Pankit went up and had a chat to this guy and said, "Oh, I really like your work and all this sort of stuff." And the guy replied, "Oh yeah, thanks very much," and was quite short with Pankit, and Pankit came away like, that wasn't very nice. And then Pankit came up to me later and said, "I just went back. I'd spoke to the wrong guy. It wasn't Steve McNiven." So he actually went back and spoke to the real Steve McNiven, and they had a little bit of chat about
mistaken identity.
No, about the cards that Steve McNiven had signed. Because obviously he was in Marvel Annual 1920, I believe. And from his point of view, he just signed a sheet of stickers. So he's never actually seen the card.
That's the problem with stickers.
Yeah, exactly. So
they never get a chance to see the card. Yeah, it's these massive, not massive, but they're way bigger than 11 by 17 sticker sheets. They just go down the row.
Yeah, and he does remember doing the beginnings ones because obviously they're on card.
The covers. Yeah, right. The breakthrough issues.
That's right. So Pankit got a print from him, which was superb. So we all came away with good stuff, nice. And a lot less cash. So yeah, it was good. It was really good. I can't say there was a massive amount in the way of cards there. There was. I think I saw one vendor with some Pokemon Magic stuff graded, and they had some 94 holofoils graded as well, PSA. There was another guy who had an original 1960s. Was it the Donruss, the first set? He had that. He had the empty box of that, and he wanted 600. And then he had the 70s set. The second one that was stickers as well. I think it was the Tops one. If I remember
top correctly. Sticker 75 or 76.
Yeah, that's right. He had that sealed and he wanted $3,000 for it.
Wow.
And I've no idea if those are fair values or not, but we just kind of nodded and walked on. He was wearing a wonderful cloak. That's all I can remember about him. He was a big guy and he was wearing a wonderful cloak.
Wait. So the seller not only had $600 on an empty box.
Yeah, the first empty box.
But then had a giant cloak on? Or trench coat?
No, a cloak. A full-on wizard's cloak with embroidery and shit like that.
Cloak?
Yeah. I mean, he was an old dude. He was in his 60s and he was quite fat, but he was sat down.
With a cloak?
Yeah.
And this has to be a whole episode.
Yeah, I didn't get a photo, unfortunately.
Overcharging.
And we spoke to someone else who was the most random fella, and we are absolutely interviewing him because, oh my goodness me, no social media presence whatsoever. Black Hole Collector.
I love Black Hole Collectors.
Got about 900 sketches.
Wow, what sets?
Almost everything I could possibly name.
Wow, that's phenomenal.
I'm not going to bury the lead and talk about it now because it's going to be the most bonkers episode. Because if he's got the kind of verbal energy he had when he was talking to us, it's going to be the kind of episode where people are listening going, I've got no idea what's going on right now, but I'm loving it.
Was he a vendor or just a guy?
Yes. Yes,
very cool.
I'll tell you off air and show you some photos.
Yeah.
I really don't want to spoil.
No. I get it.
But yeah,
the word.
He was a character. So yeah, that's all awesome. Good, nothing bad. So yeah, it was great. And then the next day I went up to New Hampshire to join the fam, and the day after that I was floating in a lake in New Hampshire. On, covered like in sunscreen. Yeah, covered in sunscreen, and having a whale of a time. So, while I was away, nice segue here. Before we move on, Ron Leary, his links to his stuff are in the tasting notes. I can't remember his Instagram feed off the top of my head, but Ron Leary is a dude, is a god. Get commission from him. He's a really nice fellow. And Ron, come on the show soon, please. So while I was away, something dropped, Norrin, and I'm not talking about the bank balance. The first Marvel release to come out from Upper Deck, that's a physical release, not just an EPAC release. Almost the first one I can't remember when Annual broke physically from last year, but it was delayed. I can't remember if that was just before or just after the new year. So it's either the first or the second set this year. So people were thirsty for Spider-Man.
Drink your milkshake.
Metal Universe, which is what we are going to talk about today.
No.
We are. We're going to talk about that today because we've both experienced the product. We've both experienced the product. And we did that box break the other day.
We did. We killed it.
It's so exciting. I'm going to play this again. That's enough of that. Thank you.
See, I think if I could be honest,
yes,
I think you kind of miss a beat on that one.
Anyway, Spider-Man Metal Universe. So we did a box break in the week, which was great. Loved it. Really enjoyed it, actually. It was possibly one of the most enjoyable. I haven't done many box breaks. I can probably count on one hand the number I've done. I enjoyed it.
I've sat in on a lot.
You've sat in on an awful lot. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They're a blast. I really enjoy them.
So I'm going to give a shout out to the first one that I saw any of, which was day of release. Ali from Titan, bless her, did was it 10 cases?
Rockstar. Yeah, 10 cases, 10 or 12. I think it was 10.
Yeah, in cosplay as Silk.
Yeah, that was cool. She had the mask on for a little while. Poor woman.
Well, she's
it was funny.
She's great.
It was funny because she was doing the opening, and I saw the thumbnail, but I was busy, so I came in later on the break, and I got there, and everybody was like, Norrin, and it was all the usual suspects, and I died because it was just all of us on there just commenting and trying to see what the product looked like and the hits and knowing the colors and all that fun stuff. So it was a pretty funny break.
Well, I hopped on. I was wondering. I couldn't really be on because I was with family and we were literally wandering around Boston, and someone messaged me and said, "Oh, she's just pulled an Amazing Spider-Man 194 comic cut." So I hopped on the feed, and she saw that I popped on, and she went back to it. It was literally only a couple of minutes gone past. She went back to it, and it was the Alpha 1 of 45, I believe.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Comic cut. Yeah, from that issue. I'm going to start there because even though I haven't held a comic cut in hand, I love the look of them for this.
When I saw them and I didn't get a good look at them, I was like, this is over designed, because of all the Spider-Mans on the borders and stuff, because I like them a little cleaner. But I have to admit, I've seen them up close now, and I've seen the way they look, and I actually quite dig them. I think they're a lot better than I originally assumed.
I do. They're so much better designed. Well, let's get this out of the way right away, because this is our review episode. This set. Sorry, something's really
dead.
I'll let it out that dead air. I'll let it out that dead air.
Doesn't matter. I'm just kidding.
It's fine. Now I went onto our Instagram and someone's commented on one of our things, really in a really bizarre way. I don't understand.
Oh yeah, baby. Who and what did they say?
Who's this? Someone called RBDY, Ralph Brian Dye, has commented on our box break video. I love your song. My money don't jiggle, jiggle, it folds. What does that mean? That's on our box break video? What? Anyway.
That's a song. It's from a reel.
Yeah.
I just don't know.
But it's not. It's not.
Reference that?
No.
I don't remember.
I've never heard that song before in my life.
It's funny.
Idea who that is.
It's a funny little reel thing.
Yeah. But it's just so out of the blue from anything else. Anyway, so what I wanted to say was, based on opening this set, the quality and the design is so much better than X-Men Metal Universe.
Oh yeah,
they're just the quality out the packs, the edges, the cutting, the foiling, the coloring.
But there are issues, but yes, there are plenty. There are issues. But I will say that after we spoke to them and the community spoke to Upper Deck and had that really brilliant discussion before they came out with the set, I think making that change where the metal logo and the metal tag where the name sits, changing that to those colors make the match was the best thing they could have done. I still think they need to go the extra mile and put the type of insert on the back of the card.
Wish they would.
And I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna make this like a we might have to sign a petition, but they have to 100% start putting the artists on the back of the card.
Yeah.
You can't have.
You might be using reference art, but you might be using reference art. Not reference art.
I want it all.
Yeah,
you can't do that. Like you have to have that information on the back. I just think it's completely. I think it'd be good for the team who's picking the picture so they can double check themselves. But those names need to be on the back of the card.
Absolutely, I think so. But it really wouldn't hurt you to put the name of the parallel in the back, especially as I'm seeing now. I didn't want to get onto the blasters just yet, but in the blasters there's the yellow FX parallel, and that is so similar to the gold from what I'm seeing on the pictures. In the crazy kind of MM94 holofoil way with the golden bronze on that one. It's I think it's even closer. But just in terms of the base card, just the quality of the printing on them, the edges. For X-Men Metal, I remember seeing a stack of base cards, and you looked at the side of it.
It's a mess.
It looked but if you look at the sides of these, they're all really clean.
Uniformed, they're supposed to be.
They're nice. Yep. They look like they've just come out of a pack. Now, I'm not going to say it's entirely a slam dunk on that front, because the box that we broke on air had this precious metal gem red.
Yep.
Which was nice, but I don't know if you saw on the feed. There's a white corner at the bottom, just a tiny white on the corner there. If I get it close.
Corners. Corners are corners.
And that was on the
drives
bottom.
Me crazy are those edges. Those edges look like they were cut with like rusted knives sometimes.
Yeah, this one's not bad. This one's fine. This one's fine on the edge.
That one looked good on the feed. I'm not there in person.
But I've seen some that are pretty choppy in pictures.
Yeah, I've seen some that are pretty. That's why I'm bringing it up. I've seen enough now.
It's a little bit choppy on the back.
Yes,
just that back edge. Just tiny.
And PMGs are known for that foiling choppiness. That's part of the desirability for PMG grading. But I think the thing that's interesting about them is that, at least for this set, it's a much bigger improvement from X-Men. It feels like some were printed beforehand, some were printed after. I don't know exactly the process, since I wasn't there, but I will say that I'm glad. You got to give it to Upper Deck. At least they are taking this advice and moving forward.
Yeah,
they absolutely
it's not
like it was totally ignored.
They absolutely are. I kind of feel like that they've learned from X-Men to Spider-Man, I kind of feel like that from the feedback from Spider-Man, they should be able to get it where they absolutely nail it. I like the Palladiums.
Fleer Ultra Avengers should be miraculous.
Yeah. I mean, I can only talk about the with authority about the inserts I've had in hand. I can talk about the other stuff from photos I've seen, but in terms of the stuff I've had in hand, the Palladiums, I like them. I've seen some that are horrendously off-center with loads of foil on one side, and
they're known for being off-center Palladiums. Like if you look at the 2013 ones, I just had to recently go hunting for a Surfer, because the Surfer Raw I had here had a little corner issue.
Oh.
And all the other ones I've ever seen all have the same corner issue where the foiling's just a little off on the very, very tip of the corner. Okay. I've never seen a Surfer not have that kind of effect. But I recently bought a PSA 9 with the centering because my centering was a little off. Yes. But what I'm happy about, which I think is what we're going to get to, is that in Spider-Man Metal, they're die cut again. Unlike X-Men Metal, where they are the full size of a card. Now they're officially die cut. They're the Palladium TI 22s that we know and love. And they look really clean. Yeah. I do think, so you've seen a lot of these. I think the art selection on the X-Men Palladium is far more superior than the selection of Spider-Man Metal Palladiums.
Yes, I haven't looked at a massive amount of the X-Men ones because that set just didn't sing to me as well. So I kind of did the Amish thing and I shunned it a little bit. But so I might not be the most objective person to ask on that one. But now you come on to artwork choices. I have issues on this set. I have issues with artwork choices.
100%.
So I guess, and it's a lot of it is down to the character lineup, if I'm honest with you. I'm looking at the checklist here. So I'm not going to share screen with you because it is just a load of text. It's pretty bonkers. Yeah. But I'm looking through it, and it's a decent checklist. But there are characters that, with all due respect, Upper Deck, shouldn't be in a Spider-Man set. Okay, fine for an Avengers set, fine for an X-Men set, because they're either X-Men or Avengers. And
are we talking about just the Palladium, or
I'm talking just generally, actually.
Okay.
Specifically. Sorry, I rather crudely stumbled off the Palladium stage there.
No worries,
I'm looking at the base set now. So it's 100 cards. Now, I know Fleer Ultra Spider-Man stayed very true to Spider-Man, and it had a lot of deep cuts on that bench, so there was a lot of cards. Yeah, which is great. This set, it feels like, and I actually wrote this down. Think about character choice. Keep some authenticity to the set subject without the populist inclusions of characters who might be in the Marvel universe, but not in Spidey's universe. So what I mean by that is that I genuinely don't understand why Winter Soldier is a base card. I don't understand why Vision is a base card. I'm not saying they don't have a place in the set, but your base set at least should stay largely focused on, the Spider-Verse, as it were. And I'm not talking about Spider-Verse as in Dan Slott's kind of storyline and bridge.
No, you're right.
I mean the name
I think
for the Spider.
It felt like they were placating the MCU audience,
yes,
by having these characters in there. It also seems to me that they're not going to come out with another Metal universe, at least for a couple of years, maybe 2 years. And I'm sure the next one will be Avengers, which makes this set even more problematic because of so many Avengers in here. I think the issue I have with so much of this is the art selection between characters and reuse, which is so ridiculous. They're reusing the art from card to insert. Spider-Man 2099, and this is not the only card. That art on the Low series is the same art on the Palladium. I
hadn't spotted that. That's not good.
That to me, it happens multiple times. That to me, that is the most laziest thing in the world. And I'm being very harsh with my language here because there's already art that's being reused. For instance, the PMG of the Jackal is the same PMG art.
That's right.
As Fleet Ultra Spider-Man 2017.
Right. That's right.
There is no reason why that art should be repeated.
Yeah.
Now there are 2 PMG Jackals with the same art, same color.
Yeah.
That is a really ugly look for a library for Marvel cards. That is not the way to do that.
I hear you.
That is not the way to do that.
And I'm looking at it.
I agree with you on the character selection. You're 100% right. I wanted to see the Spider-Man deep cuts, man.
Yeah. And why is Magneto in the middle of the set?
Or
Card 47.
Sinister is such a random character pick, and it's a reused art from X-Men Metal.
Yeah. Yeah,
at least the High Series image. I think
there's stuff in here. I mean, I'm just scrolling through it now. I mean, listen, there are some good Spider cuts in here. Don't get me wrong. There's some
there's some beautiful things they've done with the set.
They got some of the really good 80s 90s villains.
They got some good stuff in there. I could see a little less Ben Parker and May in my life.
That I have an issue with. Right. So let's get on. Well, here's the thing. I'm going to say it now. There is absolutely no reason, Upper Deck, for there to be a Ben Parker base card. Now, why is that? Why is that, Ian? Well, the reason is because you repeat him on the low and the high series. Because of the construct of your set, you then have 9 different parallels outside of the low base and the high base. So it means you have 20 Ben Parker cards. You've got your gold light FX, your grandiose, your yellow light FX exclusive to a blaster. You've got your PMG red, your pink light FX, your turquoise light FX, your orange light FX, your PMG green, and your purple light FX 1 of 1 of Ben Parker.
Ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And the worst part about this is the image selection. Why in the world? Who is over there doing that close-up cropping of these characters?
Yeah.
What is that?
Now, Ben and Aunt May together, that's
a beautiful card.
If you want to include them, put them together. There's also an Aunt May card.
There is a card featuring Aunt May and Ben's sitting down and Aunt May's looking at him, or vice versa. I don't remember. And is a sweet card. It's the card where we all kind of like, oh, that's nice. Yeah. Put an Aunt May and Ben Parker, or Aunt May and Ben Parker, or whatever, couple card. And that way you don't have, like Ian's mentioning, that kind of massive duplication, because now you're just going to have all these duds of no one's going to touch that character at that level.
Yeah. I'm just
fun.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a difficult one for me because I'm looking at the set, and I guess my issue is, and this does tie into the direction I think Upper Deck are going with the sets at the moment, which is that they're creating sets for the secondary market. They're putting in lots of numbered parallels because they are seeing. Okay, their perception is, and we've heard this from Grant, that there is the value there for the collector in chasing those. And I agree that some sets have that. So Black Diamond is a prime example where, yes, that is part and parcel of it, but it doesn't necessarily work if you move it to a set like Spidey Metal. You've got so many of these parallels out there now, and the issue at the moment is that the market is all over the place with it, and everyone's pricing it, in my opinion, a little bit too high when they're selling stuff, because they're trying to recoup on the outrageous box prices that they've paid. So the stuff that's out there, I mean, I've seen comic cuts out there in the region of $500, $600. And this is for a comic cut. I know it's numbered, but sit down, people. Let's just think about it.
And it depends on how old. And here's the thing about the people pricing these cards, and I don't know who they are, and maybe I'm wrong for saying this.
Oh, yes, you do.
Hell, it's our podcast. it's our podcast. I actually don't know who's selling. I know the people.
I do. I'll tell you after.
For like a comic cut specifically, you're selling something
just
crazy?
generally.
Oh, generally.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, because the people I've been watching a few people open, and most of them, from my understanding, Spidey Hits, Alonzo, and a couple of others they're doing the the thing where they're just like buying the set in a massive amount of product and holding cards and stuff. Basically what everyone's been doing since the dawn of time of this. And they're buying a massive amount of the set. But the thing that drives me crazy about the prices of these is that people are not really understanding why they're pricing something, what makes the difference in price, and what's the perspective on the type of insert. For instance, right now there was a Gwen Stacy Green PMG High Series, I believe, that sold for $6,000 or something.
Now that High Series is taken from... No, I'm not muted.
No. Sorry. The internet went out. What would you say, buddy?
The High Series is taken from... So let's back up a sec. The Low Series is designed to be the character as they appear now, or a very recent appearance. The High Series, so 101 to 200, is the same character appearing in the same order, but as they were at their first appearance, or very close to it.
It should be their very first, but yes, most of the time it's
some of them are very close. So, for example, with Spider-Man, with
the
Black
4
Cat,
Spider-Man cards.
No, more than that, because they've chosen every variant of Spider-Man that the Spider-Verse can throw up. Anyway, there is Black Cat, for example, is the same. I'm going to use this term again. The same image from Amazing Spider-Man 194, which by my count has now been used maybe 7 or 8 times in the last 10 years, which is fine. But there are other early appearance images of her that can be used. Anyway, but the Spider-Gwen one is great because I've not seen the front cover image from Edge of Spider-Verse 2. It's kind of a panel and an extract from it. And it works really well because it's hooded Spider-Gwen and behind you see Spider-Gwen with her hood off. So it looks gorgeous.
Right.
It looks gorgeous. But the green, was it green you said?
It was green.
Yeah. How much?
$6,000.
I mean, it's greens. I mean, it's the highest one. Yeah, there is no of 5 in this. So once you get to green, which is 1 to 10. So they're numbered 1 to 10. So they've done it very much like the original. They've gone back to how they were originally numbered with sports. 1 to 10 is green, and then 11 to 100 is red. Mm-hmm. So there were 90 reds and 10 greens.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
the issue I have with a lot of this stuff, and I'm going to step away from talking about price because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings who bought it. And what do I know? I'm not at that level of collecting. So,
because if someone wants to pay
100% could be.
They can do, it's not.
I'm 100% wrong on this. So instead of talking about price, let me talk about the repetition of insert types and the longevity of that insert type, talking from a collecting standpoint. With PMGs from 2013, what people forget is the character selection was very top end because the characters that are in that 2013 insert PMG set are some of them, maybe like 6 or 7, even 8, are banned characters.
Yeah.
So you're never seeing those cards repeat.
That's right.
A lot of inserts are being done that are harkening back to historically important inserts. Even red spectrums are going to be like this as well. The repetition of those inserts is really going to drive down the importance of the insert. And I understand there are certain staples of certain sets, so they have to be included. Yep. I get that. There has to be some there has to be some structure, some architecture going here in terms of longevity.
Yes.
Right. In terms of understanding what has been in the past to what you are building now. One of the most beautiful inserts I've seen this set include, which I think they did a marvelous job at, which I think will be collected for a long time, is the retro animated series.
Yes. I'm glad you brought that up.
Was a wonderful, because I don't want to be so negative.
Well, that's the Easter egg.
I'm a little like they say in Always Sunny. I'm a little hot about this right now.
I'm going to share screen on this, by the way, because there's something I want to show you.
The retro set is quite stunning.
Keep watching.
in the regardless in how they produced that insert. Oh, it's beautiful. It's glittery. It's almost like an animated.
But it's got cutout holes in it as well.
It's die cut.
Yeah.
Like that design, that choice, whoever did that really,
but that's the Easter
really
egg.
understood
That's the Easter egg. That's the one Grant couldn't talk about. He said there's an Easter egg. Insert. This is it.
Okay, let me go with the language here. An Easter egg is not that. That's just something they didn't reveal to us.
Well, yeah, I know what you mean.
It means
Yeah.
something else.
Yeah.
But the reason I bring up this insert and comparing it to everything else is that look at that design from top to bottom. Someone spent their time really understanding what that card was going to do.
Yeah.
They really took the time between the profile picture on the back, the nice write-up. And I don't know if the write-ups are consistent, because that's another problem with the set, is that the write-up on the back is not about the character on the front. But the set looks pretty clean from what I can tell. I haven't seen all the cards. Yeah. But that was Keith who pulled that.
That was. So I want to give a shout out. What we're watching while we talk to you is Keith Speroni put a little video up on
Keith Speroni.
Instagram.
Nice guy.
We got to get him on. I love his surname.
He's such
a
nice guy.
Yeah, I love his surname.
Great collection. Very nice.
I don't know. I'm guessing this is his pull, but
I'm assuming.
Yeah,
I'm assuming.
I love it.
I think he did. I just see. This is what I want for the future of Marvel cards. You know what I mean? It's not overdone. It's not like a 200,000 parallels of the retro animated card. There's not like a parallel. It's just a little set.
Nice.
They're somewhat short printed.
Keep it tight. Yeah.
It's tight. It's tiny. It's ready to go. It's very nice. Killer, no filler on this one.
I love it.
In my opinion.
So I think there's 18 cards in that set, I believe.
I think they Upper Deck released that list, but they didn't give us all the names, which I like.
Oh, it's in group. Someone's pieced it together. Someone pieced it.
Okay, I thought Upper Deck.
Yeah, there is so basically someone's been watching them gradually be pulled, and they've been filling it in because it's in alphabetical order.
Is about.
Yeah, it's in alphabetical order, so it's there. But I mean, I can watch this hundreds of times. But for me, even though I haven't got that in hand, that is the Black Cat card in the set for me.
That without a freaking doubt.
Yeah.
That I wish Spot was in it. Like that, I'm so jealous.
I know.
I wish I had that card.
Well, let's talk about cards that didn't make the cut. So I'm looking at the checklist here, and the checklist for the base set, the one that I'm looking at, which is the one that came from Beckett, I believe, still has Spot on there as card number 76 on low series.
That's right.
And he's also there on high series. I don't know what replaced that card. Do you? Because he's not in it.
I do know what replaced it. They replaced it with another Spider-Man.
Another one. Great. Okay.
Yeah, so that's what because they just had to do this list, but they just replaced it with another Spider-Man card.
Okay.
But the issue, and I don't know how I have this kind of luck, but basically it's just, it's ridiculous. But Spot just became a banned character recently.
What?
Probably because they don't want to delude or confuse people with the imagery of Spot because he's coming up in the next Spider-Verse movie. So I actually put my full display out of my Spot collection.
I saw.
Which I'm very happy with.
Yeah.
Very, very grateful to own that complete rainbow of
#blessed
17. I'm very happy with it. I'm very happy with that set and what I was able to do there. But yeah, they took them out. Also, it's something for people to know since we're doing a review. Card number 24 of the Palladiums is not there. So, Ian, were you in on the Upper Deck talk thing that happened?
No, I couldn't do it because it was too late. It was like 1 a.m. or something really late at night for us. Yeah.
So we spoke to them, and we spoke to our friend Tony, who's in charge of building the set. And
we've not spoken to him. Is he on Grant's team? Is he one of the product guys?
He's on Grant's. He was on both reviews for Metal. Okay. Very nice man. For Metal and Spider-Man. Very knowledgeable. And he, they were very good. Once again, they heard all the concerns from everyone. Mm-hmm. I mentioned the image repetition and other things that we talked to them about, and they were very good about all that stuff. What they said about card number 24 is that it was Mary Jane. And basically what happened was when it came off the press, from what I could piece together from what Tony said, because the connection was a little rough. We were listening to this thing. It was on a program called Ring Central, and a lot of questions were being thrown at them. And I think there was like a bunch of confusion things, like the Marvel Masterpiece thing. And they were like the card number 24 thing. People were asking about that. People were asking about quality control. So a lot of things were kind of like muddled here and there because of the program we were using. But what was happening that was interesting about card number 24 is that it came off the press completely destroyed. Like it was so roughed up from the sheet that they there was no way they could even pack it. It wasn't like a rough corner or some rough edges. It was like completely destroyed. So they did say it was missing. They said that they hinted. Now, who knows if this is going to happen again? It was kind of a weird discussion. Nothing was solidified. There was some confusion here and there for different things.
Right.
But what they did say was that I put together was that it doesn't mean it won't ever show up. So I don't know if that means they fixed the printing for EPAC and they just kept it out of the pack. So we'll see that card exclusively on EPAC. I just don't know. But hopefully it does come out so people don't have that hole in their collection, unless it fits 9 pages, and then the hole's actually welcomed. Nice and even.
Exactly. Yeah.
I just don't remember the numbering.
Oh, cool.
But
all right, that's good to know. That's good to
know.
know.
that was the big thing about that card. But I'm trying to think. I think there were some other cards on the checklist that they were written on the back differently, so the characters didn't match up.
I've seen one where it's got a different. I can't remember which one it was now. Did I make a note of it?
I feel like it was Peter. I think it was a black suit.
There was something.
Comment.
No, Prowler. I think it's Prowler. There's a Prowler card that's got the
Rogue Gallery. Venom on the front, Prowler written on the back.
That's it. I knew it was there somewhere. Now those Rogue Gallery ones. Now I haven't pulled one of those. They seem to be quite a rare hit. I kind of like the look of them. I was tempted to go after them, but because of the
it's mostly acetate, right?
It's like
Is it a thick card though?
Yes,
have you seen
it? Yes. It's like a Fresnel card, and it
looks like the pixel card, plexi cards from Spider-Man 2017, the sketches.
Oh, okay, yeah. I thought it was thicker. I thought it was like the thicker acetate cards that like the Fresnels were, and like there was a previous.
Yeah, that's the same thing.
It's
Perfect. It is a sticker. It's not sketch. You're right.
Yeah, not the
I just
thin
meant like
plexi
it's
one,
like a thick acrylic.
That's right. That's it. Yeah. So those do look good. I tell you what, I am really, because I pulled one, and so obviously
you did
this. No. I'm about to go on to what I'm talking about. It's the Skyscraper Shadow Box.
I like
these.
Set.
I like these a lot. They're thick boys.
They did a good job on this.
But they look good.
I'm coming around to shadow boxes. I have surfer shadow boxes, and I have to be honest, I'm a fan of the shadow box.
And I just think they've home run the design on here. The Skyscraper Shadow Box, it just works. The front and back.
It did not look good on the sell sheet at all, and I was kind of bored by it. But I have to be honest, in person, it's a stunner. Yeah, it's really nice.
And that's one of the higher up Black Cats for me in that set. They've chosen good art for that.
They've chosen a good art for a lot of them. My buddy, who was it? Oh God, I can't believe I'm forgetting my friend's name. He did a box for the first time, and he's a huge Daredevil guy. And he was talking about his first box of Spider-Man Metal, and he wasn't sure, and he was a little worried about the money. And he pulled a Daredevil shadow box, and I was so happy for him. I wish I could remember his name off. I blanked out, but I'm so happy for him. It was so cool.
They're just nice. They're really nice, and it's so. This is a thick card, so you're talking 8 corners, but that's
beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's pristine.
It's a great looking card.
It's a really good looking
and the
card.
Image selection on all of them, the city scrape. I really think that's another winner of the set for sure. I wish they could have had Punisher in here in the set.
Oh, can you imagine?
Punisher is perfect for Spider-Man. Yeah. It's a shame.
Yeah, it's a real shame. There's so many, because the universe that crosses over most with Spider-Man is, of course, the kind of the Daredevil and the Defenders.
That's the closest level thing. Heroes.
Yes, I know Spider-Man is occasionally in the Avengers, but it's less of a thing. There. It's less of a thing. He helps them out when they're busy, kind of vibe. Yeah. Just because he's in the MCU side of things doesn't translate to a comic art set, so it doesn't make sense. But what's missing from this set for me is Ghost Rider.
There is no Ghost Rider.
Why is Ghost Rider not in this set, and Mr. Sinister in this set, or Magneto, or
you nailed it. Ghost Riders, you're absolutely right.
There are people in the set that just should be there, and
like Marvel Knights kind of people.
Marvel Knights kind of people, exactly. And those are the people. New York City, Hell's Kitchen, Spidey's always crossing over with them, and has historically always.
You know what they should have done for this set that they did back? Well, not they, like Fleer, Impel, Skybox did back in the day. Team up cards.
Oh, a team up subset of this would have been gorgeous.
Wouldn't that be the best?
I'd rather have that than first appearances, because first appearances is kind of, it's been done, and it's about to be done again in its own set beginnings.
Ugh.
So we've kind of done the first appearances. We've done the
team ups, dude. I think some of the best cards in Marvel history, not the best, but some of the best.
Yeah,
was seeing Wolverine and Spider-Man on the same card together. Hell yeah. Or Silver Samurai and whoever. Like, there's so many good,
there's so many good
team up matchups.
Couples.
Why not a Moon Knight and Spider-Man? Like, how freaking sick would that have been?
It would have been. Oh God, can you believe? So I'm looking at it as again, and there's another one that doesn't quite make sense to me. Well, no, it doesn't quite. It's not that it doesn't quite make sense. So funny things I've observed is low series Doctor Strange is the modern Doctor Strange, and he's wearing a surgical mask. So everyone has dubbed that card. Pick. Yeah, but everyone has dubbed it COVID Strange.
That was a ridiculous pick.
But that card is now called COVID Strange in the community.
It's funny, but like I don't know.
It just makes me chuckle when I see people write it. People in the group have started listing it for sale. Oh yeah, I've got this one, COVID Strange. It'd be
COVID Strange,
$50 or whatever this is.
So ridiculous. Such a ridiculous card.
It is a ridiculous card. It is funny.
But yeah.
I mean, I get Wolverine has had probably more crossovers with Spidey than others, and his low series 100, so he's card 100. They've chose a Venomized kind of appearance that was on a front cover.
So can I say something very unpopular?
Hit me, Daddy-O.
I don't like it.
No. I understand why people like the artwork.
I get it.
People get really like, oh, it's Wolverine.
About symbiotes.
It's brilliant.
Right.
And
they lose their
minds.
Well. Yeah.
But
I'm not a fan. It's too close up. Okay. Besides image selection, the card is cropped way too close to him. You can't see the grandiose effect. You can't see the effects that the cards are kind of being marketed as. Like,
there's not enough grandiose background on that. All the Thor. Yeah, it
took forever. Like the Thor's too close too. Like, I don't understand this close cropping. It doesn't work. Like it barely works. I should say that. I've seen some cards where I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. It's like the cloud thing you referenced on the live when we were doing it. Yeah. It's so ridiculous.
Which card was I referencing? Which card was I referencing? Well, one thing that made me laugh, I've seen from, I think it was Eugene, and shout out, by the way, people really, really, really digging the interview.
They really love that interview. It was a great interview. It was a lot of fun.
I loved it. So thank you, Eugene, again for coming on. Eugene did a box break, and he's been referring to the one art made card where it's a microscope, but it looks like a bong. So that card is now being called Bong May. Art made Bong card. Bong card. That's it. So
it's so funny. I died too because when I saw it, that's the first thought I had. I don't know how much that says about me.
It is absolutely hilarious.
It is pretty funny.
Granted, we are being a little bit harsher than we.
I'm being super harsh.
Yeah, you're being super harsh. I actually, all that being said, I do really like the set. You know, I mean, I'm biased. I'm going to say that right now. I'm more of a Spider-Man person than an X-Men person.
Yep.
But when I opened X-Men Metal, I just felt a sense of crushing disappointment. When I opened I felt a sense of curious optimism because the quality of the cards was so much better, regardless of the design choices that went into them, just the quality of them.
As it should be. Yeah.
Felt, and that's the thing. When Upper Deck produce cards at their normal standard is top notch, by and large.
And here's the thing, here's the thing about me that maybe listeners don't know, and I should clarify.
You're 6'4"
if they haven't turned off being like, this guy's an a-hole. I'm like this in my profession. Which is, whatever. When something's really close to being good, I get even more outraged at the things that are bad, because I know
fair enough
that it doesn't take much to just get past that last hump before it's really good. And that's the thing that drives me crazy about the sets with Upper Deck. Cause I know the people that work at Upper Deck. They're brilliant. They're kind, and they know their stuff. Like, I've never talked to anybody like Grant who knows that much about Marvel. Like, he was an encyclopedia. It was wonderful. It's a beautiful thing. And I know the people over there love these cards. So it breaks my
and they
heart.
care about it.
I don't know. There's some really iconic inserts in this set, and I think it will make the set very memorable in what they're doing. And it's something they're also going to do beginnings that I'm really excited about. So it just breaks my heart that this is so close. This is so close to being right. And to see those little things, I'm just like, man, that's, just take that, it would have been that much better. But it's a special set. It really is a special set.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go for a base 1 to 200. I'm slightly taken with the golds, but I like the gold. Yeah. I try not to do parallels anymore because I would just do one, So I'll do base 1 to 200. However, I already know of a few characters I'm going to do mini rainbows of. Now, when I say mini rainbows, I'm going to stop short of the cray that is, and it's weird when you look at this. They've clearly got two different brandings going on, which are possibly to do with the effect of the card and the print of the card. So you've got the PMG. Now, there's only actually two cards in the set called PMG. There's the red and the green. That's it. Please remember that, everybody. So it is just the red and the green. There's just red and green. Yeah, the other stuff is called light FX. That's right. Or the FX. Yeah. So it's gold light FX, unnumbered. They're really regular. They're in blasters. They're very regular. Packs, they're very nice, though. I would say they are nice. They're on the same level as the Grandiose for me on this side. They're all nice. You got the yellow light FX, which is blaster exclusive. We'll talk about blasters in a minute. You've got PMG, red and green. Yep. Then you've got the other light effects that are numbered. So you've got pink, which is out of 75, turquoise out of 50, orange out of 25, and purple, which is the 1 of 1. Yep. So in all honesty, this set has priced me out. I'm probably not going to be able to put together those numbered parallels for Black Cat. Unless the market, they're insane. You have to wait until ComC and after EPAC when people are offloading. And even then, there's no reason to buy into this. We were just talking about this before, and Ian was like, "Hold it, we'll save it for the podcast." Yeah. So I'm looping back to this moment now. Okay. I just want to have like a small conversation about the value. And I'm trying to say this correctly to not have a mob outside where I live. What is the value we're placing on cards that are low numbered? Like where's the hobby going by putting these kind of astronomical values on cards that are low numbered, and the only thing different from the card is the coloring? Yep. And even more simply, like for MM16, 1820, the color of foil on the border. So nothing else of the card, just the color of foil on the border. Where is this hobby going if we're going to start valuing those at such an extreme level where all that is changed is the numbering of the card? Like, I'm worried about the uniqueness of our hobby. And I know this isn't all card hobbies, and I know people are going to argue with me, but I don't care anymore. I'm so tired. I think I'm more just thinking like I really love comic cuts because they're a piece of history. They're unique. They won't cut up certain books as much, or if ever. That to me is really beautiful. And I love that for us as a Marvel card community because we're Marvel fans. And I feel like that's like having a piece of Spider-Man's costume in some way. And I just think that's so special. And the retro animated thing, right? That feels like a Marvel card, has that 90s beautiful thing about it. You know what I mean? And I don't mean to be harping on nostalgia. What I'm saying is like, what's our identity? And I know this is like a stupidly ridiculous thing to talk about with cards and to be so sincere and whatever. It's just something I enjoy, and I hope it's not coming off corny. But I don't know. I've been thinking about that a lot lately. Like looking through the Surfer collection, like I'm doing this whole categorizing thing now because I'm going to do the next stage with my collection. And I'm just like, I don't know.
I don't know if how do you feel about this, Ian? Because I hope I'm not waxing too poetic for too long on this. I know it's supposed to be a review, buddy, but
well, my feeling is this, and I actually made notes on this. If you're going to be creating sets for that secondary market, and that's what it feels like Spider-Man Metal
that's what it feels like.
Yeah. Crazy numbered parallels up the Swahili. I actually wrote the word Swahili. And spell check
see how you spelled that.
Yeah, spell check was like, "Are you sure you mean Swahili?" The paperclip appeared. All of a sudden, it was Windows 2003. Then at least make the
Clippy.
Clippy appeared. Then at least make the art used work. Make it appealing. So that's the issue I have. If you're going to do numbered parallels of things, at least keep the quality there. And I think that's dropped, because you're asking, if you took the number off that card and people don't give it a second look, then something is wrong.
Something is wrong.
Something is wrong. So yeah, and that's kind of where my head's at with it. I just, I want to own all the Black Cat cards, the different versions of it. Of course I do.
Of course.
I'm a Black Cat collector.
That's how it happens.
But I'm not sure, and that's the thing, I'm not sure if I want to be spending $200, $300, $400, $500, $600 on another image of Amazing Spider-Man 194 for the high series parallels. And this is like for each version of it based on the prices that are out there at the moment. Or for the low series on art that isn't even, it's weird. We saw the earlier version of the artwork from this, and it was a J. Scott Campbell artwork, and they've chosen to go with the one where, for a brief period of time, because this is no longer the case, she had a costume that had no fluffy kind of thing around the collar, and she was neck high, and she had these things on her shoulders, these orange triangular things that look like eyes. I can't remember the era that came up in, but it's no longer current. So actually, when you look at the low series, it's not even her most latest.
It's not her most
latest thing. Yeah. And so for me, I'm like, well, it's an easy choice. I can't afford it, so I'm not gonna bust my balls trying to afford it.
100%.
If it was the animated one, I'll chase that because it's lovely. It's not numbered.
Yeah.
But it's lovely.
It's lovely.
The Scott Shadow Box, not numbered, but it's lovely.
Freaking awesome.
The Palladium is pretty darn special.
That Palladium is I've seen multiple people talk about that Black Cat Palladium. It's beautiful.
It's lovely. It's lovely. So when I'm looking at the set, value for me isn't in where the numbering is. The value for me is in the quality of the image.
I love that.
Now, if you add the quality of the image to the numbering, then it becomes something where I'm living on ramen noodles for a week because I want to own the numbered parallel because I'm passionate about the card. But if it's a card I'm not passionate about that has numbered parallels, then I'm not going to be so completist about it. And also, I can't afford to be, But here's the thing:
would you want to afford to be though? Like, that's where I'm at now. Like, even if you have the money, and I know there's a different level of thinking and you have the money and it doesn't affect you when you spend it, you don't care and you go for it anyway. Maybe so. But like, you have to have some principles as a collector. You know what I mean? It's not about having everything. It's about having the things that mean something to you.
Yeah.
And maybe maybe that's different for other people. And I might be on a different.
I mean, we're not the type of people that can afford to buy 10 or 12 cases. We simply aren't. We don't have that disposable income, you and me. But that's cracking boxes. I've never been a person to crack product. Have you been? Like, are you that type of person? Like, I like packs. I like opening boxes. It's awesome. Very few sets. But that's simply because I haven't had the money to outlay to buy into it that early.
See, I wouldn't do it if I did. I guess that's the difference.
The only ones
I'm just not the person for that.
The only ones I have are Masterpieces 16 and 18 at that level. I was, Masterpieces 20 came out at a time when COVID was going on, and I was paying off debt, so I couldn't do that. Right. So I couldn't do that. I managed to get a single box of this. I managed to get a single box of Masterpieces 20, and for the experience of opening it, and it was beautiful.
Yeah, that's fun. That's nice. Yeah, I can see that.
And
that
a box of X-Men Metal for the experience of opening it.
Yeah.
Anime, I maybe did 3 books. So I'll
Anime was
dabble and I'll dive in when I can. But I used to buy, and even then it was only a single case back in the Inkworks and Rittenhouse days. Buy a whole case of something,
I've never
I could get all the. Yeah, I did it for one of the Lost series. I did it for Firefly, and I did it for Dangerous Divas set 1.
That must have been fun.
It was, and out of I think I got 12 boxes in a case. I want to say.
Yeah, I think that's what it is for Spider-Man. I think that's what they told me.
Yeah.
I think I don't remember those sets, but I think it's 12 for Spider-Man. Yeah, maybe.
On the Rittenhouse sets, I think it was 10 or 12 boxes a case.
Rittenhouse did it right.
Part. So you're guaranteed to get 12 sketches. We'll talk about sketches for this in a moment. And yeah, so it's good. But I can't do that now. I don't have that disposable income. But that's the thing. I'm not sure I would, even if I did.
See, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't think I would. I don't think because you and I are character collectors, so it's different. People who are buying multiple cases, and we've seen people do this with 16. We've seen this be done throughout every set. People who buy multiple cases are really looking at like, okay, I'm going to control a percentage of a set. I'm going to trade for what I want. No worries. I have the money to do it. I'm going to have a strong hold on this set. And I think that's what ends up happening with a lot of collectors who go about that strategy because they have the cash to make the strong hold.
Yeah.
I'm more of like a hound dog. I like sniffing this shit out. You know what I mean? Like that's what I do. I like eBay. I like hitting up people. I like the whole, finding it.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
Yeah. Which is nice. Which is
fun. The hunt.
So I'll put away, I've just made a note of what I will go for in this set.
I love it.
I've got base 1 to 200. I said I might do gold, but I think I've decided in the course of this that that's the thing. I keep chopping and changing. I'm going to go for a Planet Metal base, which is the aluminium, I think, because it's not numbered.
Oh wow, you like it that hard?
It's not numbered. I just quite like. The thing is, the thing is with this set, there's not actually that many chase set elements. There's no easy one to collect. Yes, but what I'm saying is they've swapped it out and gone for the chase set elements there are really difficult to get. Like Rose Gallery is really difficult. So this is a tough pull.
I'm sorry, I misunderstood. Yeah,
do you see what I mean? So in Ages, you had some chase sets that were really easy to get, like Totally Toys and the Ditko one and the what was the other one?
They did good stuff in that Ages.
And then you had stuff then you had chase sets that were a bit tougher to get. It seems like most of the chase sets in this are really tough to get because of the volume of numbered parallels there are going on.
Yes.
So it's kind of made that a tough one. I won't get the shadow box, even though I like the artwork and the design on them, simply because they're too thick. So for me, that's a storage no. It's just done.
Storage no.
Yeah, I can't do it. If I can fit it into a binder page, that's fine. If I'm accumulating stuff, but otherwise I just haven't got room. So base. I
like the 4-page.
Yeah, base 1 to 200. Yeah, base 1 to 200 will do me. Palladium I might pick up because I imagine the value on those will go once EPAC hits.
Oh, Palladium's going to go straight down the tubes.
Yeah.
That poor guy not poor guy. Maybe he got what he deserved or she got what she deserved.
Oh, is this the Wolverine guy from X-Men?
Man, back in the day, that person either wanted to make a statement, pump it or whatever, or maybe they didn't know, which is what
maybe they didn't know. Well, I have seen one thing that annoys me is I'm seeing people list shadow boxes as SP when they're not. I saw it on eBay this morning.
Trickery.
Because if you look at the inserts on this set, let me find the shadow boxes. So the shadow boxes don't become SP until you get to card number 19. Yep. And then it's 19 through 24, and then 25 through 30 are SSP. Okay. Yep. So that's fine. But why is Spider-Punk an SSP? Oh my goodness me! I would if I was going for a set.
I will say that
Spider-Punk. Anyway,
I understand, but it does look good.
but I like the fact that, and actually, I'm looking through here. Spider-Man actually. Well, it's listed as SS26, so it's SSP. It's listed as Peter. Oh, that's Peter Parker. Sorry, SS28 is Peter Parker. So there isn't actually a card called Spider-Man in the.
I've seen the Peter Parker card. It's very nice.
Yeah,
but I don't remember.
Is it dressed up as Spider-Man though?
I think he is.
Because it wouldn't make sense.
I have to look it up. Card. I don't even remember who had.
I don't know. I'm just looking at it now. Anyway,
I'm blanking.
But anyway, someone had listed one of the cards. It was low number. It was single figures. As SP, it's like, do your research. Stop trying to shine people on eBay. It just bugged me. And the other thing that I'm going to say now, I've not seen a massive amount of the Z-Force cards yet. They're out there. The Black Cat one, they've chosen to use a cover where she appeared as Black Cat 29, but it was a variant cover. So as far as I'm aware, there has never been a storyline with Black Cat 29. So there's just this random variant cover artwork. It's kind of like an Elseworlds kind of vibe. And yeah, it just looks a bit odd. So
that is odd.
So I won't be chasing the numbered parallels on the Z-Force, although I do have one coming to me via a very kind collector who I won't mention until it's in hand, but someone has found me one and made sure it comes my way, which is really nice of them. So thank you to that person. But yeah,
I will say there's been so many good people in this hobby lately. Like,
yeah, there's some, in all of the because the thing is, at the moment, everything's priced to recoup on that high box price. And it leads me back to the whole thing that someone at Upper Deck actually mooted this question to me off the record. Is like, they found it interesting seeing the collector's expectation for the value of the cards in the box once the box is broken to meet the value that they paid for the box. And I think that's an entirely unrealistic expectation. Frankly, I just, because ultimately it's gambling when you look at it that way. So,
are you saying that? Are you saying, because I'm sorry, the stupid internet broke up.
Oh, sorry.
Are you saying that? No, it's not your fault. It's mine. I think there's a storm rolling in. Okay. Are you saying that if people spend $600 on a box, they shouldn't be thinking they're going to get $600 worth of cards?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
agree.
if you go in there thinking you're going to get $600 worth of cards, in most cases, you're going to be disappointed. The problem is
100%.
Is that people are turning around and trying to sell them for a combined amount that will make them back close to that $600, which is why we're seeing comic cuts at crazy high prices. Yeah. Now, I get that sketches are really rare in this set because have become a much rarer insert. But I'm seeing a lot of sketches. If you pull a sketch, but it's not by an artist that normally commands $600 on the secondary market,
that's worth $1,000. Yeah. How do you not know that?
Don't list. I mean, you can list it at that, and it will just sit there, and it's fine.
It'll sit there forever. Good luck.
It will sit there forever. Good luck.
No, it's garbage.
I just find it really interesting seeing people's expectations.
No, it's not interesting. It's aggravating. It's aggravating.
It is. I'm trying to be nice,
and it's screw that. I'm done.
I'm trying to be nice because I've got my harsh moment coming up.
Oh yes, I love it.
I want to talk about. I want to talk about blasters.
Oh, I'm excited.
I want to talk about blasters.
I'm so with sketches. So I will say this, if Upper Deck's listening and doesn't hate me already, I don't think they did a very good job with the design of the front of the sketch. There's no reason for that Spider-Man to be on the front and their design on the border.
That's right. Yes.
On the bottom. That is too
why is the character
from
pictured
the
on the front?
That's not good.
That's weird.
That's really not good. I mean, there's you could do it as like a subset or have a die cut. You know what I mean? I think you need to start becoming a little more creative with your sketch card blanks. I think you need to have some die cuts as well as a regular thing like you did it with Retro where you had that variant where you didn't have the name of the character. I think some of that is necessary for this instead of just the one card. I think if you're going to make it a case hit, let's have some of the variety come back if you want to make it rare and people can sell. I think that's the strategy. But that Spider-Man on the front, design wise, is just too distracting and it's not good. Like it doesn't work. Like on the back, it's a beautiful looking sketch back of the card. It's very pretty. But the Spider-Man on the front does not do it any justice. It totally distracts from the artwork.
Yeah. It's exactly. I mean, especially when an artist spent so long doing the front of the card, you don't want to be the best thing about the card to be its arse. So
thank you.
To sum up what I think you were just saying, I want to talk about the blasters. Now, the blasters. Now, I went into a Target in Boston because we don't have them over here in the UK. I went into a Target in Boston because I genuinely do enjoy the Target experience. It's a brilliant shop and I buy all my underpants there. I mean, literally, I do.
Better than that.
No, literally, every time I go to America, I stock up on underpants because the American stuff just fits me better. It's got a fat ass. Anyway,
that's the way to do it.
Just American clothes, just generally. But I went into the Target on the day of release, and of course, the blasters aren't there yet because I didn't really know this. And it's been the first time Upper Deck's done blasters.
Who would? I didn't. No one knew.
However
Everyone
many
was
years,
waiting.
everyone was checking them. So it took maybe about a week, maybe about 10 days for them to start appearing in Target.
For them to start appearing,
yeah. They actually appeared on the Target website first. And someone posted the link, UK time about 6, 7 a.m. And spotted it had gone live. So I went on. You could buy 3 in one order. I bought 2 because that's what I could afford. And they've gone to my buddy in America, Donnie, who is going to mail them over to me with a couple of other bits.
Nice.
Great. It's wonderful. So they did sell out eventually online, and they have been restocked online a few times and subsequently sold out. They have now started appearing in stores physically at Target. I haven't seen anyone pick them up from Walmart, but they've certainly appeared in Barnes and Noble, which is brilliant.
Yeah, that is really cool.
And so people are buying them. And what I love, I'm going to tell you what I love about the blasters. What I love about the blasters is that you don't have the numbered parallels in them. And you know what?
I do like that.
Bring it, baby. Because you do have the base cards. You do have the golds. You do have the grandiose. People have pulled palladiums out of there. People have pulled sketches out of there. I've seen people pull some animated series stuff out of there. And now I know the odds on those are much longer when you compare them to the boxes. But actually, when you even them up in terms of the number of cards in the blast and the number of cards in the box,
yes,
and when you consider the fact that the boxes are at retail price $29.99. I made that stress on the retail price because I'm going to talk about flipping in a moment. Is good value. It's really good value. And so someone that we know who did a really nice review of our last episode, a gentleman called Alan Michael, is coming back into the hobby because he feels he can buy them without stressing, without paying $600 a box, and actually build the set and enjoy the set without going bankrupt. At least, I'm paraphrasing. I'm sure I've read into it what he said. If I got that wrong, Alan, please reach out and slap me. But that's what I've read into it. And just seeing the joy on his posts again after so long of not posting, because he's able to buy these, and he spent less than the cost of one hobby box, less than $500-600, and he's almost put together the entire base set.
He really has. I mean, he's a true set collector, though. Yeah, he's like legit,
but he's enjoying it. He's not fussed about the number chase, and
he's having a good time.
That's fine. He's having a great time, and he's doing. I'm not signing us off yet, but he is enjoying collecting. Which is great.
I like that.
But now I know that this happens, and I know that it doesn't matter how many times I stand on the beach swearing at it, it's not going to stop this tide coming in. And I know that it happens all the time in the sports world and in the Pokemon world. But I still think that if you go onto the Target website or you go into Target and you pick up something priced $29.99 specifically to then make profit off it and deny someone else the opportunity to buy it at $29.99 and list it on eBay at 100, 120, 150. Your account with a silent O.
Yeah, dude.
What I'm going to say. And there's, and I'm sorry, but I'm like that guy, that meme where that guy sat there and he's got a cup of coffee and a white piece of paper and he's sat in a park somewhere.
They fight me.
He's like, such and such and such and such. Change my mind.
Change my mind. That's it.
You will never change my mind on that. It's behavior. It's just.
It's a scam. It's a flea market behavior.
It is.
You're going somewhere. It's the same people who go to card shows and sell these things for a markup because they were the a-hole who went over there early ass in the morning and bought it all and decided to clean out a shop and resell it.
Yeah.
And I know people say, well, that's America. And I was like, well, congrats. You've been a douche. Yeah, whatever, man. Like, it's just ridiculous.
It doesn't matter what country you're in. It's just behavior. So what I'm loving is the fact that some people have been able to get some nice stuff and their kids are opening them because it's in retail, and that's what it's about. That's
what I want.
If you want the hobby to grow, then I don't understand how you can be wanting the hobby to grow, wanting a new generation to get into cards, wanting people to have access to these without the markup that the distributors put on them that Upper Deck wash their hands over because we can't control it. I don't believe that for a second.
100%.
If you want to take that frenzy out of the marketplace, and you can at least acquire the cards and enjoy the art, whatever you think of the art choices, because it's just our opinion at the end of the day. Opinions are like arseholes. Everyone's got them, us included. And as we sit on them and talk to you from this
Wait,
podcast,
you have one?
Yes, believe it or not, it's quite a hefty one. I'm sitting here and, we're sitting here talking about the set. At the end of the day, it's just our opinion. And believe it or not, I actually really do like the set. I think it's a great set. I think it's
a great set.
I think it gives me real optimism for the fact that Upper Deck will be getting on track with things. It gives me real hope that the next metal set will, improve even further, because you can tell that Upper Deck are listening to collectors. They're listening to what we say. They're listening to what other people say, who may be saying different things and have different opinions. That's fine. Everyone's got a different opinion. That's okay. But if you want the hobby to grow, you can't also at the same time, I don't think, and I might be wrong, I don't think you can also at the same time be perfectly happy for people to buy a $29.99 box, take it home, not even open it, not care about what it is, just know that you can try and get $100 for it on eBay. Because it doesn't bring anything back into the hobby. We had the same debate in the ticketing world, because I worked in live entertainment ticketing, about scalpers. They don't care who the artist is. The hotter the better from their point of view. The money they make doesn't go back into the industry. Doesn't support, musical talent coming up. Doesn't support bands. Doesn't support investment in infrastructure. It doesn't support venues. It doesn't support any of the ecosystem that exists around the music industry. It's a similar thing with cards to a degree. Doesn't support the card shows. Doesn't support the dealers that are out there. I don't think in the long term it supports the manufacturers and the licensees either. But listen,
it doesn't do anything.
But it
doesn't. You're absolutely right.
It happens and it'll carry on happening. But that's my opinion of it. That's all I've got to say on that. But yeah, like I said, I'm digging it. Rogues, I'd like to, like I said, but it's too spicy. So I'm going to go for base 1-200, and I might try for the animated series as well.
I think that's a good one.
But I'm going to build mini rainbows of some of the characters I like. And you know what? Having shown my daughter some of them, so is she.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So the Captain Marvel low is brilliant art. Love it. It's really good.
It's so good.
You've seen that one, haven't you? It's really joyous.
Mm-hmm. It's really nice.
The Black Widow low is cool, but as Eugene said on his box break, it's got a weird gropey hand just in front of her underneath the metal banner, which is
I really don't like that. When he said that, I was so happy I was there to watch.
Yeah, it's strange.
I love her.
So many good Black Widow art choices. Yeah,
but I freaking hate how gross that hand is coming over the border.
There are so many. Look at it. There are so many good
you have it up?
Artworks of Black Widow that you can do. And that's got that hand at the bottom.
It's so gropey. I mean, I'm sure it's because he's about to get his, kicked.
I don't know.
But it looks gropey.
Especially with the kind of style of how she's, she's quite sexualized.
The seductive kind of stuff she has around her.
I don't know.
I don't know if she's coming out of costume. I don't remember the book, but
it's a book. I don't know if she's it looks like it could be a cover outfit. It looks like a cover piece, actually. The Captain Marvel's gorgeous. Ghost Spider. I'm sorry, it's Spider-Gwen. I'm going to call it Spider-Gwen. I love that. And my daughter loves that character as well.
It's a really nice one. I like the Spider-Man 2099 Spider-Man quite a bit.
I don't think I've got that one yet, so I don't have it here.
I like the high series and the low series.
Yeah, I only broke the one box. Spider 29 is great anyway. Just such a good character design. For people who like Nova, I think they've lucked out in both the low and the high series. The Nova 100% is really good.
Yeah, I think they got super lucky.
The Nick Fury art just doesn't make any sense, low or high series.
I hate that
to me. The high series looks like he's drunk.
I must not remember it. Oh, the high series is the close-up, the horrible close-up?
Where he's there, he's obviously shouting on the battlefield, but it looks like he's hammered.
It looks dumb.
The Madam Web, the low series is gorgeous. I won't be
very nice.
Rainbow in that one. I'm looking at it. So, I'm giving you some positive notes here. I think the Mayday Parker, both low and high, are brilliant.
So awesome.
I love them. The Mars Morales low series is great. It's that neon kind of airborne kind of vibe. My daughter loves
Very
it
indicative of the
Spidey and his
character.
friends. Yeah.
I don't like the close up of the high with him taking off the mask. I know how significant that moment is.
Yeah,
but I think the cropping is wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not the image selection.
They should have pulled back a bit.
Yeah. They should have pulled back on that. That's too close.
I love the low series Craven. I don't know why J. Jonah Jameson's got so much oxygen in the set. He's all over it.
That's weird. Too much.
Hawkeye shouldn't be in the set. I'm looking through now. Doc Ock, I think, works brilliantly on both levels. The ones that work really strongly, I think they've got a deeper bench of images from, apart from Aunt May and Ben, are the ones from the Spidey's universe.
Yep. Scorpion, Vulture, all the Sinister Six characters on the high series.
It's great. Because they've got McFarlane artwork on some of them as well, which is great.
Venom. That Venom's going to be hunted down forever.
Oh, that Venom is so good. Winter Soldier. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the Winter Soldier artwork on low series. I quite like the artwork.
Like it, but
I just don't think it works on a card.
I don't think it works on the card. The art is fine. It's very close to Punisher.
It looks like
just by a glance.
It's Alex Maleev. It's Alex Maleev and his dark.
It's great art. It has nothing to do with the art. It's just a strange card to frame in a card. It's a strange image to frame on the card.
Yeah. Toxin. There's a number of symbiotes.
Toxin was great. I was surprised.
Silvermane is good.
Yeah.
Spider-Man Noir is great.
Killed that one. That's a great one. Spider-Ham. Dude, let's like Spider-Ham. They did a great job
Peter Porker being in the set a lot.
Peter Porker.
Yeah, exactly. Peter Porker. Peter Porker. Alistair Smythe. I don't want to talk about the low series artwork.
I don't want to talk about that
because that is potentially worse than the art made Bong. It's just, I mean, literally,
it's close to that iBoy level. Well, the troll one. What's the guy on the computer with the hair and the beard?
That's Alistair Smythe. That's him.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. That's the high series one I'm talking about. Looks like, it's typical. Looks like fanboy.
It has that horrible connotation. Yeah, it does.
But Jackal, Vulture, they've got the high series for the original Spider-Man characters. They've done well for the majority of them. Aunt May and Ben, notwithstanding. So you can't argue with that, even though I find an excuse to. So yeah, and Silver Sable, low series, high series,
beautiful,
a high
Silver
series.
Sable.
They've just chosen a really odd image for the high series.
You see, that's the one that could do with a little bit of a zoom, just a little. It's an odd choice of an image, but the low series one is a very nice portrait. Like not portrait, but a quarter body, 3/4 body, or whatever you call it.
But she's in her action gear. That's the thing. If you're going to picture someone in their civvies, someone did say for the Silver Sable high series that it looked a bit Karen.
Looks a bit Karen.
Yeah, I think it might be.
Oh, really?
Again, it just made me laugh.
Eugene was throwing out comment after comment. I was dying. I was like, oh man.
I have watched more box break videos than just that one. It's just that's the most recent one, so it kind of stuck in my mind. So obviously plates, I'm assuming must be e-packs because they haven't appeared yet at all. And I'm going to throw something out, and I can't believe we've never talked about this before. We do printing plates for the front of the card, yeah? What happens to all the printing plates from the back of the card? Because some card backs would look okay. Just saying.
God, I don't want to see more printing plates.
Yeah, but why not?
Insane. Well, you know what they do?
I know there's a lot of text on some of them, and I get that, but that's fine. So I know some of them might look a bit weird if they're of a color spectrum that wasn't used in the text, but given the amount of design on the back of the cards, and some of them are quite heftily designed, with, especially on these. If you look,
some of the backs are replication. Iconic.
Yeah, you've got a replication of the image. You've got the power scales.
No, it's nice.
You want to up your hits without doing all this numbered parallel malarkey, put some more ones of ones in there. But, they've told us that plates are one of the cheapest inserts they have because they're a byproduct of the production process. They cut them up, they sand them down, they put a sticker on, they stick them in the product. Well,
what I like even better. What they do, so in Topps, Topps is now going away, but Topps does a Star Wars set called Masterworks, which you know of. On the Masterworks printing plates, what I love is that you'll get the printing plate of the character, but the back will be normal. So say
that again.
Yeah.
So it's a printing plate with the card back on it.
Yeah. It's metal. It's a plate. It's everything's the same, but instead of just a sticker label like we're used to,
but they sandwich it with a card back. Okay, wow.
And it's not sandwich. It's like actually printed on the metal or something like that. I'll show you.
Oh wow!
But no, it's really freaking nice. Like that's what I want. I want to see that. I don't want to see this sticker stuff on the back anymore. We need to.
Well, I do. I don't mind it because it tells me. Well, when they remember to do it, because not all sets do it. It tells me what color it is. Nothing else.
Did I get rid of it?
But you mentioned something in passing about Topps going away, and I'm really behind on industry news. So what did you mean by that?
Oh, Fanatics bought out Topps.
I know they bought out Topps. I didn't realize that they were planning to retire the brand. Or
no, they're not going to retire the brand. What I mean is like the people working at Topps.
So yes, I know there's been massive changes.
There's different decisions being made by a different company now, which is what I meant.
All right, I'm with it. Okay. Anyway, so overall, let's just sum it up. Marks out of 10 on this one. Let's just bring down to brass tacks. Marks out of 10 for this set. Bear in mind what you might have given, because we've never done an out of 10. So we've got to think about the context of it. How much would I do?
Let's do this then, because it's the first time we're seeing a Metal Universe modern set. Yeah. So we'll give a grade to X-Men, and let's give a grade to Spider-Man as well, so people can see the difference. Let's do X-Men first.
Okay. I've got to get around the fact that I'm more a Spidey person than an X-Men person. Just think about that set and my experience.
And the things that going into my grading. So we're on the same page, right? Here are some like categories: quality control.
Yep.
Image selection. Diversity of inserts.
Yep.
Longevity of the set. I think those are 4. That's fair.
Yep, I think so.
That's what's going into my score.
What's coming back to me time and time again about Metal X-Men Universe is the fact that PMGs were PMG in name only. That's what's coming back to me time and time again.
Say again? I misunderstood.
Well, PMGs in Metal X-Men Universe were PMGs in name only. The quality of them was not even close to what they should have been. So, which is why I still fail to understand why people chase them and covet them so much. But everyone's different. And everyone collects in a different way. So, I'm going to be quite harsh on that. It's going to be 5.
Yeah, I'm at it like I'm on like the 6.5. That's where I'm at. I'm close to you. That's where I'm at.
Because for Spider-Man, I'm at 7.5.
Spider-Man, I'm leaning a little higher, just around 8 or 8.5, maybe 8. 8.5 seems too high. But you're right. I think we're on the same level.
Yeah. What's pulling me down is the 5th one there, which is experience of collecting it. Now, I know a lot of that is outside of our control.
Good one. That's a great one.
If you think about,
we need to write these down. This needs to be a thing.
Well, we've recorded it, so that's handy.
There we go. Sometimes you and I talk and I forget we're actually recording.
I know. Well, that's the best way, isn't it? Let's face it.
It is the best way. It's nice. It feels authentic.
So but listen, I dig it. I love it. I tend to collect Spider-Man sets, and I've stopped set building as a whole, but I want to have the Spider-Man sets at least, so I still need to. I'm a long way short of finishing Fleer Ultra Spider-Man 95. It's only been 27 years here. What are you doing? But can I tell you something scary that occurred to me the other day?
Please.
We're 2 years off the 30th anniversary. 30th anniversary of Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. Wow. That thought occurred to me, and I started feeling really old.
Oh no. Yeah, I'm turning 37 this month.
Oh, goodness me. Snoogans.
Yeah. Snoogans. Emily's already messing with me.
Those in the audience that will understand that.
37. I don't understand it.
Well, it's like 36, but just a bit older. Anyway, so
is that how we're going to go? That's fine. That's okay.
Yeah, you know what? I think we've done
whatever.
But can I just say, Upper Deck, thank you for listening to Collectors on this set. I know we've been hopefully constructively critical on this episode. because we care. We want it to be the best possible, and I know you guys do at Upper Deck as well. So I just want to say to the guys at Upper Deck, thank you for listening to Collectors on this one. Thank you for making improvements since the X-Men set. And I don't know if they're allowed to buy their own product, but can I sign off with this episode with a slightly different sign off?
Whoa. History in the making.
That's aimed specifically at Upper Deck. Are you ready for this? Are you sitting down?
Oh, wait, let me make sure. Yep.
Good.
I am sitting.
Right. Enjoy manufacturing. Thanks for listening to the Marvel Card Collectors podcast. Visuals and tasting notes for each episode can be found on our Facebook page. You can subscribe and leave us a voicemail via our home on anchor.fm/MCCP. We're also on iTunes, Spotify, and all major podcast platforms. Please take a second to subscribe, like, and review our show wherever you get your podcasts. Our podcast can be found by Googling at the MCC Pod, which will also find us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Our Facebook community is at MCCW, Marvel Card Collectors Worldwide, and MMC, Marvel Masterpieces Collectors. The great music we use is called Rocket Power by Kevin MacLeod. Thanks to the collectors, artists, and creators who support the Marvel Cards Fan Collective. We'll see you next time, and remember, it's a small hobby but a fun one. Make mine Marvel and enjoy collecting.